Peace and welcome, beautiful soul, to this space of harmony, transformation, and recalibration of our mind, our hearts, and our bodies. Now, if you are feeling stressed, if you're feeling anxious, if you're feeling hopeless, if you're feeling worried or agitated, or if you've ever felt these feelings in the past and you don't know how to get out of them, right? You're stuck in the storm and you're trying different things, but it doesn't seem to be working or it doesn't seem to last. I have a solution for you. I have a path ahead that you can implement into your life, into your experience. And it begins with just following the breath. Is it that simple? Yes. Follow the breath. Start to follow your breath. When you catch yourself stressed, agitated, right? Anxious, your mind just starts getting foggy and you start to feel stuck. Take a pause, follow your breath. Try this with me now. Take a deep breath in, hold it at the top, and then a deep breath out. One more time, deep breath in, and a deep breath out. Just with that already, I feel my own system start to change. There's many reasons for that, right? There's the scientific reasons where you're literally taking in more oxygen, which then goes into your blood system, which then goes into your entire body. And oxygen is what gives us life, in a sense, to at least the lungs and the pulmonary system that helps you stay alive through breath. So you're literally bringing in much more oxygen, right, than you're used to, than your baseline. And most of us, if we haven't been taught or trained how to breathe, and you start to observe your breath naturally, you'll notice it's a very shallow breath, right? It's very shallow. And you usually breathe just from the top of your chest up. But when you take deep, conscious breaths and you breathe down into your belly, you're taking in way more oxygen than you ever really do, right? So there's a huge benefit there for just the physical, biological body. But even deeper than that, once you start to follow your breath consciously, right, with attention, ideally with loving attention, right, with compassionate attention, you start to follow your breath and you focus on the area of your nose, right? You can close your eyes and just focus on the area of your nose. You focus on the air coming in and the air coming out, right? So now you're actually doing two really beautiful things. You're giving your body more oxygen, which it needs to function properly. And now you're also focusing your mind, right? You're focusing your attention very sharply. And very suddenly, all of a sudden, your mind has gone from 1,000 different worries and fears and potentials, right? That the mind loves to just hypothesize and theorize and what ifs and, this might happen. And so you start to shift the energy from this adrenaline, cortisol producing state, right? The mind is almost expecting a tiger or some kind of danger, but there's, right, unless you're in actual danger, get into a place of safety. But if you're in your room, if you're in your place of work, if you're outside and you can take 5, 10, 15 minutes of your precious time to calm your mind, to calm what's happening inside you, I mean, you'll observe for yourself, the changes are transformative. They're quite impactful once you really can see what they do, right? So we're following our breath. You're following your breath, and you feel the anxiety come up, right? You feel the stress, you feel the anger, you feel the agitation, and you let it be there, right? And it takes a lot of courage to do this, not to react, but you just let it be there, right? If it pulls up next to your face, next to your ear, it starts chatting away at you, you come back to the breath. Okay, so I want you to allow all the discomfort, all the uncomfortable feelings to actually serve as your reminder to come back to your breath. So when you feel the fear, when you feel the anger, when you feel the stress, that should become your trigger to go back to your breath. Okay? It takes a few days, but if you can put this into practice, whenever you start to feel anxious, whenever you start to feel agitated, instead of feeding that, you remember, oh, this is my trigger to come back to my breath, right? And sit down if you can in a comfortable place and just observe your breath. The whole practice right now is to observe your breath. Let me know if that seems crazy. Let me know if that makes sense. At first, I thought that was ridiculous, to be honest. But the more I practiced it, the more I actually implemented this teaching, because this is actually an ancient technique that goes back all the way to the times of Buddha and actually before him, right? People in India and different parts of the world have been practicing this mindful awareness, right? You start to train your mind. Literally, you're training your mind to stay focused on one thing at a time. Because right now you are completely scattered. You're completely paralyzed because you're taking in so much information. You're taking in so much noise. You're taking in so much music. You're taking in so much content. You're taking in so much data, right? And you don't fully know how to take that shit out, right? So imagine you're just taking in. So the mind just gets completely saturated, right? And often it just checks out, right? The red light comes on and you just bling, you just check out because it's way too much for our minds. Evolution is slow, right? We've been evolving actually to be outside, to be under the sun, right? Most of our ailments, most of our disease comes from wearing plastic shoes, not having a connection to the earth, not being outside, not breathing properly, right? So the moment you start to breathe consciously, it's going to feel like you're sitting in a fire because your agitated mind, your untrained mind has actually taken control of the ship. You've allowed your mind to take control of the ship and it does what it wants, right? It reaches for the phone. It goes into those stimulation, right? That you're so accustomed to, right? You have to understand the mind is a horrible master, right? You can't let the mind be in control of you. You have to bring it back to you. You have to become conscious about how you use your mind and become aware of the habits you're developed, right? We often develop habits and patterns that are not healthy, but we don't know any better, right? You didn't know any better, but now you do, okay? Now you do. And it really begins just by bringing your mind back to the breath. This is a big time glitch for the program running in on your head, right? Your mind is used to just wandering freely in your paradise, in your garden, right? In your castle. The mind is just like, oh, we like that, let's go, right? Stimulation, this here and that. This feels good, right? This takes me out of my life. This takes me out of my worries. This takes me out of my, not worries, but out of my responsibilities, right? Now, the moment you say no mas, no mas, no more, and you start to casually train your mind, you're going to notice how much resistance there is because it's been running crazy, it's been running like a wild animal. So start to focus on your breath. Just focus on your breath. Focus on your breath and observe how much comes up. Observe all the demons, all the impurities come up, right? And immediately you'll start to get a twitch, right? To scratch and to like, stop sitting. What are you doing, right? We're wasting time. Like, you'll start to hear all the parts of the mind come back. All of a sudden, all these parts of the mind start to make you want to get distracted, right? They make you want to lose your focus because you've lost your focus. You've lost the ability to train your mind to be still with what is, okay? So as you're feeling agitated, as you're feeling stressed, use that as a reminder and remind yourself that this is going to pass, right? Everything passes. And if I can stay present with my breath, if when people don't meditate, they don't have an anchor, right? So you're literally free falling, right? Everything is moving. And that's the reality of life. Everything is changing. But you need an anchor, and that is the breath. So focus on the breath, and you'll slowly start to see the breath become your center, and everything else is just spinning, right? The reason we fall into anxiety, into stress, into depression is because we don't have an anchor, or that an anchor that's actually stable, right? We put our anchor on other people. We put our anchor on things outside of yourself. The beauty of the breath is it's right here. It's always with us. So when that becomes your anchor, everything else is spinning and going crazy, and you're chilling, you're smiling because you have an anchor that doesn't move. It's with you, right? It wants to work with you. So work with it, okay? Just follow your breath. Follow your breath, stay centered, stay calm, and watch the agitations get really loud and then softly settle, 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 settle. Because the truth is, your natural state is peace. Your natural state is harmony. Your natural state is joy, it's abundance, it's love. The problem is we filled it with junk, with noise, with distractions. So calm that mind, baby. Bring those levels back down through the breath. Start focusing on your breath. Let me know how this works for you. I'm sending you so much love. May you be at peace. May we be at peace. May I be at peace. May we all live in peace and in harmony to make this world a better place for ourselves and for each other. I am Quetzal. Leave me a comment, give me a like, subscribe. Let's grow together, and I will see you really, really soon. Peace.